So I want to flip on the camera and document the journey. An agent of mine just crushed me. An agent of mine just developed a skill set that is better than me. If you want to learn how to become better than your leader, or if you want to learn how to understand if your leader is an effective leader, or if the person who is training you in the life insurance business is helping you become great, I want you to watch this video. So many of us are being led by people who are not actually in the game. Some of us are being led by people who don't know actually how to sell, and some of us are failing because their leader is letting them down. And I want to make this video is because you might not know if your leader is effective or not. For me, if you're coming into the industry, you might be lost. But I want to share with you the role of the leader. I had one of my agents today just close a policy that I wrote back in January. So I had a lead come in January. I called the guy, let's say Mr. Terry's his name. And I wrote on the lead card after I didn't sell him, lead cannot be sold. He is a tire kicker. My agent just texts me. He says, hey, you remember Mr. Terry, the tire kicker? I just sold him. And that right there gives you evidence that the leader has now been surpassed by the mentee. And this is what I want to share with you guys. The goal of getting into life insurance business, the goal of becoming successful in life insurance is literally just having a leader that you can replicate, that you can duplicate, and ultimately become better than them. And for me, I wasn't anxious. I wasn't worried. I wasn't upset that my agent closed a policy that I didn't close. I was extremely proud. One of the most proud moments in my business happened right now about 20 minutes ago. Having someone who came in with no ability of sales really, or haven't ever sold more than 10 policies, have been able to coach them, mentor them, listen to their sales calls, listen to what they're doing, have weekly huddles with them, daily huddles, calls on phone at 7, 8 o'clock at night, doing whatever I can to invest them, to give them the skill set to surpass me, is what it takes to be a great leader, but ultimately what it takes to build an incredible sales organization. Now, if you're in a sales company right now, I'm just going to give you the perspective of how I've been able to take multiple agents, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a handful of agents, and help them sell nearly 5 times the policies that they used to sell now with me as the leader. And I want to share with you guys this because I am still going through the process, Peter, of how can you become a better leader? But the one thing that I've learned, it takes a lot of freaking work to develop a sales individual. And that promise of I'm just going to come in here, you're going to learn the resource, I'm going to give you the tools, and you're just going to go out there and become successful is a lie. Number 2, if you're not being onboarded the right way, if you're not being trained, if you're not having a proper accountability, that you will fail in this industry. And the reason I make this video ultimately is to guys just give you guidance. There are so many agents right now that can become successful in this industry. But the person that's in charge of your success is not only you, most importantly, but the person who is guiding you and holding your hand. And the goal in your journey, if you want to build a life insurance business, if you want to build an agency, if you want to replicate what I'm doing and training people and helping grow a team, what I've learned is that why don't you just become the person that they want to be and just say, hey, if you do this, this, and this, that you can actually get this result. And I'm not here lying to them. I'm actually in the game with them. And ultimately, to be the best leader is to ultimately create the resources, the training, give them the same exact system, and have your mentee soar past you and have the skills to help them become better. A lot of people don't want to train people to become better than them because they think it as a threat. But imagine if everyone you brought in, you trained them, you created like, hey, I have to make this person successful or my business will forever fail. If you're building an agency right now and you're not making other agents successful, stop recruiting. And how about you just take the 5 people that you have right now on your team and you make them extremely successful. And once you do that, you will probably build a decent agency that can expand and people will want to work for. I'm just documenting my journey. People are reaching out, hey, how can I work with you? This is not, I don't want you on my team. I really don't. But I want you to try to build what you want for yourself and go after your goals. And what I'm learning is that I wanted to build an agency. So I knew that I had to become the leader that I wanted to become to attract people and ultimately have the track record to attract other people. And now it's amazing that I can have other people replicate my success because I brought that or coached them or guided them to become successful in this industry. That is how I've learned to make the shift of, hey, let's go ahead and build the best sales team that everyone wants to build, rather than let's go ahead and build the best core people that have the skill set that can eventually train other people to win in this industry. So if you're failing in this industry, I've made a video about this, your leader's probably not guiding you the right way. And ultimately, the best thing for me is, how can you be in a position where your mentor is giving you the guidance, giving you the ability to succeed or eventually surpass them? There's so much money to be made in this industry, but ultimately, before you recruit, before you go out there and tell your friends and family about what you're doing, how about you become successful and then you go ahead and help bring one person and duplicate it in just one before you duplicate in 50 and none of them make it. I think the biggest way, and this is a belief for me, Peter, to build the best agency, to make the most amount of money and our business here to have our success And how we're going to build the biggest agency is simply by building the best team, but ultimately building the most amount of results. If I can just build an agency where I have 50 agents who are selling, 100 or 50 policies per week, let me just tell you this, there's no recruiting needed. There's no ad I need to run on Facebook. There is no anything I need to do. Results speak. And I think a lot of people forget about this, that results speak, because at the end of the day, when you lay your head at night, a lot of leaders know what's going on, and a lot of agents aren't making money, and that's what's preventing them from becoming successful. And I just want to make this video because I think it can provide value to you if you're a mentee. Who is your leader? Do they have real results? Can they actually guide me? Are they making false promises that they're not fulfilling and they're letting me down and blaming me? Or do you have a leader who is giving you the resources, the tools, the evidence, the data to show that they are a credible leader who can actually help you and is actually in the game or in the trenches with you? And ultimately, can you become that person who can eventually build your skill set so great by having a guider or a leader who can eventually become more powerful than the leader to eventually carry on your mission? People create leverage, leverage create opportunity, and ultimately you can build something amazing with the right people. But can you be the right leader? Love you guys. Hope this helped, and ultimately just want you to evaluate who's guiding you, who's leading you, and hopefully as you are building your agency as well, wherever you are in your journey, this can help you hopefully identify what you need to do to become a successful leader to your team. Cheers.